Huntress #2, written by Paul Levitt's, art by Marcus Toe, whatever. Left off last issue with Helena going undercover, saving one of the girls from trafficking, and then beating up a bunch of Moretti's men to leave a message. Then we see that Moretti's men were then killed by Moretti's men because they're incompetent. That's the kind of guy Moretti is. This issue picks up with Huntress breaking into a police station. She rappels up to the top and basically just goes on for a little bit about, like, man, it's a lot more complicated in Gotham, but maybe that's just because they're used to it. I don't know. So she breaks into one of their computers, tries to find a connection for everything, and apparently the same Undertaker picked up all the corpses at all the crime scenes. So that's her next move. But as she's shutting down the computer, someone walks into the evidence room, I guess she's in, and starts firing shots at Huntress. She escapes, doesn't amount to anything, but it happens. We cut over to Moretti's beachfront mansion, I guess, just to instill how awful he is. It shows him sleeping with a woman who definitely does not want to be sleeping with him. And then he's on the phone saying, like, hey, yeah, we have a vigilante here in Italy. She messed up one of my shipments, but she would be an idiot to show up again with all the upgraded security. No matter what, next delivery is going to go fine. So clearly we all know that it will not go fine. Then we get back to the Undertaker, who's dealing with some of the corpses. He goes and he gets ready for it. And as he's preparing, Hunter shows up, pins his arms to the wall with arrows from a crossbow, and says, like, okay, so you're going to tell me a couple things about Moretti, or else the next arrow isn't going through your sleeves, it's going through something you care about a lot more. And we end there, assuming that she gets all the information she needs. We cut to Helena, out of costume now, talking to the newspaper reporters that she met up with earlier, just basically about the whole thing going on, Moretti and whatnot. And they wonder why, if he's so much of a public figure, why is nobody stopping him? And they basically tell him, like, look, we're newspaper reporters, but, like, the police, the people who make the laws, the everything, all that rich stuff, it's all interconnected. There's no way to really penetrate it. And Helena's like, well, then we just have to remove the connections. And the police reporters are like, look, we know that, like, you're trying to help the sex trafficking thing, and that is very bad, but, like, you have it in your mind that these people are, like, abducted from their homes without any say in it. But, like, some of them are, like, they choose this because they don't feel there are any other options. Some of them are sold into it by their own family members. Like, it's not as black and white as you make it out to be. There's a little bit of shades of gray to it that you need to be aware of. Also, what's this I hear about a vigilante going around? And she's like, oh, I don't know, no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, bye. So she goes to the docks that night for the next shipment and pretty much does the exact same thing as before. She's just a little bit more aware of it. She's hiding out until she actually has visual confirmation of the women being escorted off the boat. Once she sees them, she dives in, beats up the guys who are keeping track of them, throw them into the water, and then she puts all the women on a school bus, plants a bomb on the oil tanker, and blows it to hell. So now Moretti is personally involved. He drives out on a little motorcade in order to get to his private yacht. They're moving to international waters, which, you know, would stop any sort of police officer, but clearly not Huntress. So as she sees that the yacht is ready to depart, she fires a GPS tracking arrow onto the back of it, and she's claiming how she's ready to continue the hunt. And that's where we leave off. I like this book, but it's strange because it doesn't feel like a superhero book. If that's like other books that I've been doing for the show, like Men of War or whatever, obviously you have like Batman or whatever, clearly they don't have superpowers, but they still have that feel of a superhero book. This one has much more of a feeling of like, no, this is like true crime stuff. This is, you know, a mob and mafia sort of story. This has nothing to do with aliens or superpowered metahumans. This is stuff that like actually happens, and it kind of sits weird because of that. It's not bad. It's not bad by any means, but it just sits weird of like when he starts talking about like the different ways that people end up in these terrible trafficking situations. It hits different than it would in like, oh, here's why these aliens are all coming to Earth. It's like, no, this is actually happening. But no, it's not bad. It's not bad in any regard. Art-wise, it's very good. I don't know if maybe it's the difference between the light and the dark scenes, but the light scenes, they feel different in that it feels like a different artist almost. The dark scenes feel complete. There's a good 2-page comparison between light and dark where you can see how much more depth there feels in the darker pages. I mean, it's all the same artist, and as far as I'm aware, it's the same colorist throughout, so I think it's just a tone thing, but it definitely feels better at night than it does during the day. Overall, I'm going to give this one a 7. It's just continuing on what it was doing in the first issue. It's not bad by any means. It's an extremely well-told story. I'm content with it. There's nothing bad about it, but it's also not like, whoa, that's amazing. It's just a solid book all around.